Hello students of class 10, how are you? I hope you all are fine. Let us continue with chapter 6, The Making of a Scientist, written by Robert W. Peterson. So what we have seen in this story as of now, so this story is a brief account of Richard A. Bright, who has received the Sarley Scholar Award and Scaring Plough Award for Biochemistry and Molecular Biology. It was his fascination for butterflies that opened the world of science to him. Later, we have seen in this chapter that he was very much curious in collecting the things. So since his childhood, he was enjoying in collecting the things. Later, he started collecting the butterflies. He had a collection of many species of butterflies as it has been described in a chart in your book at page number 33. And his mother was helping hand for him. She was helping him out. She was providing him all the materials he required, like telescope, microscope, cameras, mounting materials and other equipment, okay, so which was helping him in many other ways. So this way Bright Richard's mother was helping him. She was taking him on trips. So thus when he was in school, so his mother was the only companion of Richard A. Bright's. So later he grew an interest in collecting the butterflies when he went through the book Travel of Monarch 10. He got more idea about collecting the butterflies. Then he started collecting monarch butterflies, and at the end of the book, the readers were invited to collect the butterflies and tag them, collect the monarch butterflies and tag them, and they were sent to Dr. Urquhart. But he found no better result in sending the butterflies, monarch butterflies to Dr. Urquhart, because he found that those monarch butterflies could not travel more distance. Later he presented in his model in a county science fair, and he did not win any prize. So he learned that the winners really they did the real experiment. The winners they really did the real experiments and they deserved to be the winner. So that is why they won. And now let us continue with page number 36. Okay students, now open your book at page number 36 and continue. So in his second year in high school, Richard A. Bright began the research that led to his discovery of an unknown insect hormone. So in his second year in high school, Richard A. Bright started the research that led his discovery of an unknown insect hormone. Now his discovery led him towards an unknown hormone of insects. Indirectly, he also led to his new theory on life of cells. So this way, indirectly, while he was discovering the unknown hormone of insect, this discovery indirectly led him to his new theory on the life of cells. The question he tried to answer was simple. What is the purpose of the 12 tiny gold spots on the monarch pupa? So the question, answer to which he was trying to find, the question was very simple, and the question was that what is the purpose of the 12 tiny gold spots on a monarch pupa? Everyone assumed the spots were just ornamental. Everyone thought that those spots were just ornamental, Bright said. But Dr. Urquhart didn't believe it. but according to Dr. Urquhart, they were not ornamental. To find the answer, a bright and another excellent science student first had to build a device that showed that the spots were producing a hormone necessary for the butterfly's full development. So to find the answer to this question, whether those spots were just ornamental or they had any purpose. A bright and another excellent science student first they had to build a device. Make a device that showed that the spots were producing a hormone which was necessary for the butterflies in full growth, in full development. So after discovering about those spots, Richard Albright and another excellent science student found that those spots were very helpful in development of a butterfly. They were not just ornamental. This project won a bright first place in the county fair and entry into the International Science and Engineering Fair. So this project won a bright first place in county fair and entry into the International Science and Engineering Fair. So this project won first prize in county fair and it got entry into the International Science and Engineering Fair. There he won third place in zoology. So there a bright won, due to this project, a bright won third place in zoology. He also got a chance to work during the summer at the entomology laboratory of the Walter Reed Army Institute of Research. He also got a chance because this project got entry in International Science Fair. He got an opportunity. This project made him to be given an opportunity, made him to give this opportunity to work in, yes, he also got an opportunity to work during the summer. He could work at the entomology. Entomology means, it is a science which dealing with an insect. So he got an opportunity to work with the science of dealing with an insect, okay, in the laboratory of a science which was dealing with insects of the Walter Reed Army. So it was the laboratory of Walter Reed Army Institute of Research. So because of this project, he got an opportunity during summer to work in Walter Reed Army Institute of Research. As a high school junior, Richard Albright continued his advanced experiments on the monarch pupa. So as a high school junior, Richard Albright continued his advanced experiment on the monarch pupa. This year his project won first place at the International Science Fair and gave him another chance to work in the army laboratory during the summer. So that year his project won the first place in the International Science Fair and gave him now another opportunity to work in the army laboratory during the summer. In his senior year, he went a step further. So during his senior year, he went a step further. He grew cells from a monarch's wings in a culture and showed that the cells would divide and develop into normal butterfly wings scales only if they were fed the hormone from the gold spots. Yes, here his discovery reached its aim. And what is the aim of his discovery? So in his senior year, he went a step further. He grew cells from a monarch's wings. He grew a cell from monarch's wing in a culture and showed that the cells would divide and develop into normal butterfly wing. So he showed that in the presence of that hormone, in the presence of those gold spots which were earlier considered ornamental. So due to those hormones, the butterflies' wings getting their full growth, they were developing. The project won first place for zoology at the international fair. So this project won first place for zoology at the international fair. He spent the summer after graduation using further work at the army laboratory and the laboratory of the US Department of Agriculture. So he spent the summer after graduation during further work at the army laboratory. So during his graduation, he continued working in army laboratory and at the laboratory of the US Department of Agriculture. He also got an opportunity to work in laboratory of the US Department of Agriculture. So because he won the first prize in zoology fair, so that is why in the zoology at the international fair, so that is why he got these opportunities of working army laboratories. The following summer, after his freshman year at Harvard University, Everett went back to the laboratory of the Department of Agriculture and did more work on the hormone from the gold spots. So the following summer, the next summer, after his freshman year in Harvard University, so he was new at Harvard University, Everett went back to the laboratory of the Department of Agriculture. So once again, Everett went back to the laboratory of the Department of Agriculture and did more work on the hormone from the gold spots, and he did more work on those hormones which was obtained from gold spots of butterflies which were earlier considered only for ornamental. Using the laboratory's sophisticated instruments, he was able to identify the hormone's chemical structure. So, using the laboratory's advanced, sophisticated means advanced, I made you write yesterday. So, I made you write all hard words and their meaning yesterday of this page. Instruments, and he was, so using the laboratory's advanced instruments, he was able to identify the hormone's chemical structure. A year and a half later, during his junior year, Everett got the idea of his new theory about cell life. So a year and a half later, during his junior year, Everett got the idea for the new theory about cell life. It came while he was looking at X-ray. So this idea came while he was looking at X-ray photos of the chemical structure of hormone. When he was looking at the photos of the chemical structure of hormone, he got this idea. When he saw those photos, a bride didn't shout Eureka or even I have got it. So when a bride got those photos, a bride did not shout. He did not shout that Eureka means, it is a cry of triumph at a discovery. So he did not cry that he discovered something or even I have got it. But he believed that along with his findings about insect hormones, the photos gave him the answer to one of biology's puzzles. So instead of crying, shouting, Eureka, which shows that he had discovered something, he had found out the question to the answer which each and every scientist wanted to know. So he was not very excited at his discovery, but he believed that along with his findings about insect hormones, the photos gave him the answer to one of biology's puzzles. He believed that now one of the biology's puzzles would be solved because of these photos. With the help of these photos, many of the biology's puzzles would be, one of the biology's puzzles would be solved. How to cell can read the blueprint of its DNA, and the question was how to cell can read the blueprint of its DNA. So this puzzle of biology could be solved with the help of those photos which was discovered by a bride. DNA is the substance in the nucleus of a cell that controls heredity. So DNA is a substance in the nucleus of a cell that controls heredity. Heredity means, you must have read it in science, in which one quality is transformed from one generation to another generation. You must have read this term in your science, DNA and heredity. It determines the form and function of the cell. Thus, DNA is a blueprint for life. So, it was a bride who discovered that the DNA is the blueprint for life, which transform the information from one generation to another generation. A bride and his college roommate James R. Wong worked all that night drawing pictures and constructing plastic models of molecules to show how it could happen. So a bride and his college roommate James R. Wong, they worked all that night drawing pictures. They were making pictures and constructing plastic models of molecules so that they could show how it could happen, how this hormone acts as DNA. So they were trying to find out that how DNA is the blueprint of life. So how it was so that is why to prove this term, this fact that the DNA is blueprint of life, a bride and his college roommate James Wong worked all that night drawing pictures. They were making pictures and constructing plastic models of molecules to show how it could happen. Together they later wrote the paper that explained the theory. Later they wrote a paper explaining the theory. Surprising no one who knew him. Richard Ebright graduated from Harvard with highest honors, second in his class of 1510. So surprising, no one who knew him. So no one got surprised at his discovery because everyone knew that he could do it. He was able to do it. Richard Ebright graduated from Harvard with highest honors. He got second position in the class of 1510 students. Ebright went on to become a graduate student researcher at Harvard Medical School. So Ebright went on and he became a graduate student researcher at Harvard Medical School. There he began doing experiments to test his theory. In order to test his theory at Harvard Medical School, he did his experiments. If the theory proves correct, it will be a big step towards understanding the processes of life. If the theory proves correct, if the theory which he was trying to prove, if it really proved to be correct, it will be a big step towards understanding the processes of life. It might also lead to new ideas for preventing some types of cancer and other diseases. So it might also be a treatment for cancer and other diseases. What he was discovering, if that proves to be correct, then it might also lead to a new ideas for preventing some types of cancer and other diseases. All of this is possible because of Ebright's scientific curiosity. So all of this was possible because of his curiosity towards science, because of his scientific curiosity. His high school research into the purpose of the spots on a monarch pupa eventually led him to his theory about cell life. So dear students, his high school research into the purpose of spots, so all this where he reached, so the point where he reached, he began working on this when he was in high school, because in high school he did research on the spots of tiny gold spots of monarch pupa, which were found on the wings of monarch pupa. He wanted to prove that, he tried to prove that, not tried, and he proved that those spots were not just ornamental, they were there for their purpose. They were releasing the hormones, and those hormones were very helpful in the growth of, in the development of monarch butterflies. So they were not just ornamental. So Richard Ebright, all of this is possible because of Ebright's scientific curiosity. His high school research into the purpose of spots on a monarch pupa eventually led him to his theory about cell life. Richard Ebright has been interested in science since he first began collecting butterflies. So since his childhood, he was interested in science, but not so deeply that he hasn't time for other interests, but not so deeply that he was not giving time to another activities. It was not like that he was only busy in science, he had also other interests. Ebright also became a champion debater and public speaker and could canoeist, and all around outdoors person. So he also became a champion debater and a public speaker. Okay, and good canoeist. Canoeist means, you know, sailor of small boat. A sailor of small boat. Canoeist means a sailor of, sorry, let me write it in a proper way. So dear students, let me write some hard words and their meanings from this passage, then I will explain the remaining paragraphs. So please note them down. These words are from page number 37. Canoeist, canoeist, C-A-N-O-E-I-S-T, it is E-I-S-T, sorry, E-I-S-T, canoeist, E-I-S-T, canoeist, C-A-N-O-E-I-S-T, canoeist. Canoeist means sailor of small boat. A seller of small boat. Exhibits means displays. Ingredients means contents. So please note them down. So I hope you have written. Now let us continue. So he was also a champion debater, a public speaker, and a good canoeist. And all around outdoors person. So he was also all around outdoor person. He was not a person who was introverts. He is also an expert photographer. He was also an expert photographer, particularly of nature and scientific exhibits. Particularly, he was a photographer of scientific display and nature. In high school, Richard A. Bright was a student. In high school, Richard was a student because learning was easy. He turned a lot of his energy towards the debating and Model United Nations Club. So as a student, most of the time he gave in debating and Model United Nations Club. So he was giving time in debating and Model United Nations Club. It's a type of club. He also found someone to admire, Richard A. Wheeler. Richard A. Wheeler was the person whom he used to admire. His social studies teacher and advisor to both clubs. So he was his social studies teacher and also his advisor of both the clubs. It is his advisor of the debating club and Model United Nations Club. Mr. Wheeler was the perfect person for me then. He called him a perfect person for him. He opened my mind to new ideas, a Bright said. A Bright said Mr. Wheeler opened new ideas for him. Richard would always give that extra effort, Mr. Wheeler said. According to Mr. Wheeler, Richard used to give extra effort. What pleased me was this person who put in 3 or 4 hours at night during debate research, besides doing all his research with butterflies and other interests. So apart from researching with butterflies and fulfilling other interests, he was also giving time on debate. Okay, he was also a good debater. He was giving 3-4 hours at night doing debate on research, debate research. Besides all other discovery research which he was doing, he was also giving much time to debate. Richard was competitive, Mr. Wheeler continued, but not in a bad sense. Richard was competitive but not in a bad sense, Mr. Wheeler said. He explained Richard wasn't interested in winning for winning's sake or winning to get a prize. So Richard was not interested in winning the prize. Rather, he was winning because he wanted to do the best job he could. So because he was winning, because he wanted to do the best job. He was not winning because he wanted to win. He was winning because he was trying to do his best. For the right reason, he wants to be the best. And that is the one of ingredients in making of a scientist. And it was one of the contents which made him a scientist. Start with a first-rate mind, add curiosity and mix in the will to win for the right reasons. So he started with first-rate mind, he added his curiosity and mix in the will to win. So for the right reasons. So these were the mantras for his success. Everett has these qualities. From the time the book The Travels of Monarch X or 10 opened the world of science to him, Richard Everett has never lost his scientific curiosity. Since he read this book, The Travel of Monarch 10, he never looked back. He continued with his scientific curiosity, and finally you can see where he reached. This chapter also inspires us to do our best, not for winning, only just we always try to do our best. Okay students, so please revise once again. If any doubt, let me know in online classes. I will clear your all the doubts regarding this chapter. And also in my next video I will discuss question answers and other exercises. So thank you for watching. See you tomorrow.